What's up, guys? This is the Board Certified Gaming Podcast, the video game podcast that no one asked for, but you're going to get anyway. You have no say in this matter. You clicked the button. I didn't. So you don't have to listen to this, but we'd appreciate if you did. I'm Andy, but if you're a regular listener, you already knew that. If you're new, hello, I'm Andy.
Hey.
Amar is here as well.
Hello.
He's always here too. Not all the time, most of the time.
Man, it's getting dark out.
It's getting very dark out.
It's going to rain.
Today, we are going to talk about something that is near and dear to both of our hearts.
The weather.
But the weather, yeah.
We'll just do some small talk. As soon as you hear
rain drops, but the weather, it's getting nice out.
As soon as the microphones pick up the rain in the back, be like, oh, we needed that.
Yeah. We're going to talk about not the weather, achievements and trophies. We love those. Some more than I think Amar is probably the utmost.
Literally nothing better to do.
He has nothing else going on except getting achievements. Not much trophies anymore, just because he's picking one. He's like, you know what? I'm sticking with achievements, not trophies. It's just a way of life now. But he still has a lot of trophies, so don't put that past him. We actually
Top 20 in Wisconsin.
We don't have a lot of real life achievements or trophies to speak about, but these are real enough to us. They count. They take skill, talent.
I'm still waiting for my
time.
plaque.
Dad,
Are you listening?
They're real. This matters. People care.
I had to work for it.
These are achievements. Why would they call them achievements if they weren't achievements? If I didn't achieve them.
Or trophies. It's not just a participation trophy.
These irresistible accomplishments have us grinding at our games for hours and hours in hopes of getting that shiny platinum or that 1,000 gamer score. You're listening to two professional achievement horrors and trophy hunters, but we're the good kind.
That's the nicest thing anybody's ever said to me about my addiction.
We don't actually trophy hunt. That's for douchebags and assholes. We are the good kind of trophy hunters. We just play video games a lot. That's all we do. Which, funny enough, there might be an actual game you can get a trophy in that is a hunting game. So that works.
Oh, yeah. Cabela's. There's like tons of those.
Whatever. There's like 5 of them. I've never been interested. So I currently have 62,000 achievement points and 44 platinum trophies. So I kind of know what I'm talking about. Yeah. Amar is a lot more than me. He has about 125,000 achievement points and 63 platinums. So he should be leading this, but I'm going to, just because. So we live for this stuff.
You do have 62. Nice.
Huh?
Nice. 62.
62,000. Yeah, dude.
Let's get you to 100K.
I'm half of yours. Imagine that. I've been playing not as long as you, but you've had an Xbox 360. You got one like a couple of years before I did.
No.
Yeah.
When did you get your 360?
I got mine a little bit late. I think I got mine like 2009.
Really?
Something like that. Yeah. I was a Nintendo guy until I got one later. But you are
360 was like.
You got one close to
7.
Yeah. I think I got mine like after Call of Duty 4 came out. I know that.
Yeah, mine was like almost to the date, like 2 years after it launched.
Yeah. So Amara has been a little bit ahead of me, but he's literally doubled me. Except for platinums. Platinums, I'm catching up. Like, I'm pretty good. But you
have fun. I'm on track to do one a year now.
You dubbed me, and you're literally double me on achievement points. So we are pretty qualified to talk about this. You could say we're even board certified. See that? See what I did there? It's the name of the podcast. We're going to discuss the history of trophies and achievements just quickly, if you don't know what they are. We're going to talk about why some of us really go crazy over these things from more of a psychological sense. We're going to pretend to be psychologists for today. And kind of our personal experiences and which ones we have had better experiences with. And actually, at the end, we might actually give you some tips and tricks if you want to become people who have no lives like us and get your numbers up, because you got some rookie numbers out there, man.
I'll get you on the right path with all the resources to make those ladies look at your score and be like, what the fuck is that?
Yeah. So you got something to brag about at parties. We'll help you out. Before we get into that,
knows I do.
Before we get into that, we appreciate you guys listening. Please share this. Tell everybody. We appreciate you guys getting our name out there. That's how we grow as a podcast. That's how more people impact this thing, and we can make this better, more listenable, more approachable. Share the podcast. We are available at boardcertifiedgaming.com. I registered the domain, so we have that domain. So it's an easy domain, boardcertifiedgaming.com. Remember that. You'll get the website. You can choose a podcast provider. You can listen to it on the website. There's access to our Twitter, which is at BCG Podcast, at BCG Podcast on Twitter. We have an Instagram at Board Certified Gaming Podcast on Instagram, at Board Certified Gaming Podcast. There's pictures and stuff. And we also have a Patreon, patreon.com/BCG Podcast. All of these are connected. Go check them out. Share, tell everybody if you're liking it. If you're not, tell people that it's great anyway, because lying is fun.
True.
So those are the plugs for today. So we're going to get into it.
Lay it on me.
If you don't know what achievements are, achievements or trophies,
You're a fucking loser.
then where have you been? So there are these just little rewards for special tasks and things that you can do in the game. Either they're going to be things you're going to do anyway, like story stuff, like here, chapter 1, here's an achievement, here's a trophy for getting chapter 1. Hey, here's an achievement for chapter 2. Those are kinds of ones. And then there's ones that are really out there that, hey, you were not going to do this anyway. You had to go off the beaten path,
like that,
collect a bunch of stuff, spend more time, really put a lot of skill or effort or time into the games. And then you're like, hey, barely anybody has done this. We put this in the game, but we didn't think anybody was going to really do it like on purpose. So here you go. Here's an achievement. So these special little acknowledgments of, hey, you did this thing that not everybody is going to do if they play this game. Not everybody is going to do, period, that even buys the game. So if you don't know what those are, you have been playing you've either been a Nintendo fan or you've been playing.
Or you just genuinely don't give a shit.
You haven't owned a console since like 2005.
I mean, well, no, Steam achievements are still
Steam achievements, true. Those are a thing as well. But we're going to mainly talk about Xbox and PlayStation just because that's where we have most of our expertise in. So back in the day, Xbox started this all back in 2005 with the launch of the 360. They were like, you know what? We're going to come up with this little system to get people to want to explore their games a little bit more, increase the replayability, increase the whole dearth of things you have to do in the game. So they came up with achievements. They are at intervals of 5, mostly. Amar has some stories about them not being in intervals of 5.
So intervals of 0 or a 5 is like the golden.
The typical ones. It's 0 is an interval of 5. You're not going to get an achievement that's worth 0.
Yes, you will.
Sometimes.
Yes,
very rarely.
That's the unspoken rule, but there are some assholes out there that are like, we're gonna like No Man's Sky. I know does that. And it's the most annoying shit ever. Where you go from having a perfect gamer score, which is ending in 0 or 5, to for 6 years, mine just ended in a 9.
Yeah. So if you have OCD and it's gonna bother you, there are some games you might want to avoid. Just check them out early enough. So you're like, if you don't get that achievement that's worth 3 points or 33 or
that's why when I go back to playing
6,
Overcooked, I'm not going to 100% it, because to get my shit even, I needed 1 point, and finishing just the tutorial or like starting it in Overcooked gave you a point. But if I 3-star everything, it's 199. And I'm like,
it's just for some people who really care that their score ends in a 0 or a 5. There are some games you need to avoid. So they're most of the time in intervals of 5. But if they're not, then it's either going to come at you at random or you're going to have to look it up first. So they are, the most you can get in any game is 1,000 in achievements. You can get more with DLC, but the max you really are going to get usually is 1,000.
Generally,
there
are a couple that like launched with more, like the Halo Master Chief Collection.
Well, then I'm full of shit.
I think that maybe that's the only one that I can think of off the top of my head that started with a base of 4,000.
Okay,
so
but that was 4 games.
Correct. So it was 1,000 for each.
Yeah,
but the entire
Orange box was multiple games,
but that was only 1,000
for the whole entire Orange box.
Yes.
Oh well, then never mind.
Yeah. But that one had like 99 achievements, basically each worth like 5 points.
There are exceptions, but the rule is usually 1,000 per game. And if it's an indie game or less of a game, it's going to be less than 1,000. That's usually the rule.
Yeah, they've strayed away from that though. Back in the day, arcade games used to be like 200. Then for a while they did like 400, and then now it's just like pretty much everything comes with 1,000, except for like a few miscellaneous ones that are just like, here it's just 200.
So those are achievements. And then a couple years later, back in 2008, which is really weird because usually it's PlayStation does something and then Xbox copies it because they're always kind of like
not
first.
Last gen.
Now it's flipped. in achievements. Xbox beat them to the punch. Here's this cool thing that we do. And PlayStation was like, you know what? We're going to take that. We're going to make it our own. We're going to do it. So they did it in 2008. So Xbox 360 had achievements for 3 years.
Yeah.
The PlayStation 3 didn't get them till 3 years after. The console launched in 2006.
And that was only for games that came after they announced trophy support. So I think it's like, I want to say like no, not the first.
The first game that had it was Super Stardust HD. That's the first game that was given trophy support.
I'm trying to think of like which big name games.
There was an Uncharted game, I think, that was like one of the first ones to come with trophies in it.
I think the first Uncharted, no, that had it.
No.
Metal Gear Solid 4, I don't think had
something
trophies.
like that. It was a bigger game like
AAA
Uncharted
game, that came out.
Or Metal Gear that had that. This is launching with achievements, whereas they had to give achievement support or trophy support for that.
Some of them, though, like if they already had it in other games, like I think BioShock, when it first launched, did not have trophies, and I want to say that they patched it in later.
Yeah, just because they could easily put them in later.
Because the lists are damn near identical, give or take maybe a few achievements.
Yeah.
But yeah, they're like the exact same list.
So PlayStation, instead of doing... So it's basically, hey, can I copy your homework? Sure, but make it look like I didn't do it. What they did was they turned achievements into trophies and basically had a bronze, silver, gold, platinum system instead of just here's a number.
Right.
So it would basically be all of these achievement wow, I'm going to do this a lot. I'm going to say achievements and trophies when they are, just use them interchangeably today. Trophies for PlayStation.
Gamer ranking.
Sure. They are bronze, silver, gold, and platinum. So it's the difficult ones, obviously, are gold.
Correct.
Or platinum is finishing the whole thing.
Correct.
Whereas Xbox, you don't really get anything or get any special recognition for getting 1,000. They did put a little bit in where you get like the logo of the game in terms of completed games somewhere, but I think that's gone. That was on Xbox 360 for like a little bit. It was like games with 100% complete.
Yeah, the most Xbox does now is with the one where if you get an achievement that like less than 10% of people on Xbox have unlocked, you get a little diamond next to the achievement. Yeah. But that fluctuates.
Yeah. So those are like the rarity. Those are rarer achievements that it's like, this is probably hard to get, that not a lot of people are going to get or will get or have gotten. So here's a little diamond and a little different, noise or notification.
Scary ass.
It's very loud. So bronze is worth 15 points. So they have a weird leveling system where you get
it ties to your overall level.
Yeah. So
and that hilariously enough only caps out at 100.
Yeah. So you can get to level 100 and 100 and then stay there because it doesn't go any higher.
Because I think the top guy has, I think he's about to, if he hasn't already hit like 2,000 total platinum trophies.
He's still level 100.
He's been level 100 for the last like fucking
decade, bro.
8 years. Because I think
it's
I don't know how many total trophies. I mean, because it's a combination of
everything.
But obviously platinums award the most.
Yeah. Gold.
And Sony takes more of the approach of, we want to reward you for getting it all.
Yeah.
Whereas Xbox is just
get one. Yeah.
Yeah. Just get a bunch of them.
So bronze is 15 points, silver is 30 points, gold is 90 points, and platinum is 180 points. So you can see that obviously platinums are going to raise your level a little bit higher. But it turns out the level doesn't really matter. I guess if everybody gets to 100, who cares? You're not going to know how far ahead unless you look at the trophies anyway. Nobody cares about bronze trophies really, because those are the easier things to get in a game.
Well, and like I would consider us like average hunters, and probably people that are listening are average. I mean, getting to level 100 in your lifetime is possible, but like those are more reserved.
Those are people who make a concerted effort to get.
I would have to look at the list, but I guarantee you, like a majority of the people that are level 100 have minimum like 600 platinums.
Probably.
Like there's probably a base limit, and then that's also factoring in that they played a lot of games that don't have platinums too.
Yeah. And in that, the platinum trophy, in order to get that trophy, you have to get all of the other ones.
Correct.
Which means with every platinum they're getting the 16, 15, whatever other trophies that came with it.
Right.
Which is there's about 2 or 3 golds per game, roughly.
And with that,
there's a handful of silvers, there's a handful of bronze in every game.
Well, and with that too, not every game is like ranked equally.
Yeah.
So with Sony, not every game has a platinum trophy.
Mm-hmm.
you only
it sucks finding that out afterwards.
Yeah,
because then you're like, wait, what did I not get the platinum? I got everything.
You only get the bronze, silver, and gold, and depending on how many. I mean, there are some games where like the total XP amount is worth more than another game, because even though they both have like the same amount of trophies, one is just riddled with gold or riddled with bronze.
These are really hard. Whereas these are worth a lot more.
Yeah, with Xbox, it's just kind of like, look, it's just 1,000 is 1,000. It doesn't matter if you're playing Grand Theft Auto or if you're playing fucking Cars. Like, it's just
Cars 2, maybe.
It's just 1,000 points. That's all it is.
Which is the main difference, in that Xbox is going to just, hey, play the game. There's no reward for getting them all. If you want to get them all, that's cool. You can do that. You'd still get 1,000, just like everybody else that does that. But you can get 995, still fine too. Yeah. Whereas PlayStation, if you want to get that level up, if you want to kind of show them off, if you want to have that feeling of, I got all of them, you get something for it. You get a platinum. You get, this is the trophy I got. There is nothing more achievement-wise I can do with this game.
Right.
Until they add DLC.
Well, and then like with PlayStation, it really depends on what you value more. Like Xbox has always been overall gamer score. That's what you look at in that community. Obviously, in the trophy hunting community, you still look at platinums, but I mean, there's somebody on my friends list that's a higher level than me. I have more platinums than them, but it's just because they play a fucking ton of games. Yeah. Right.
So that's, I mean, those are kind of the differences. We are going to now talk about why this all matters. Why it's a thing. Why psychologically this matters. Like, why are they so cool, and why are we hopelessly addicted to them?
You're about to pick me apart.
But to psychoanalyze both myself and Amar. So psychologically, we are stupid humans. We are just bags of meat that somehow managed to move around. And
we're the only country protesting a pandemic.
Yes, which I didn't want to bring up the pandemic because I want people to think of other things. But as you can see from all of the news that is happening currently, we are...
Achievement hunting's not so dumb now, is it, Dad?
We are dumb people. So just like dogs hitting a bell for food, we want to be rewarded with pleasure. We want to go for the things that make us feel the best and avoid the most pain. Before I actually get started, I'm going to preface this. We are not psychologists. We don't have psychology degrees. We are psychopaths, probably.
Socio.
We're psychonauts.
Let's not.
Yeah.
And say we did.
Okay, fine. There's no other thing that say psycho, so that's just what I went with. We're either psychopaths or psychonauts. We're just not psychoanalysts or anything like that. But we're going to pretend like we are anyway. So we like to be rewarded with pleasure as stupid humans, just like that experiment of the dogs hitting a bell because they would be given food every time they rang the bell.
Or it's like the act of gambling.
Yeah.
You know, like all the buzzing and shit that you hear in a slot machine. This is just like a slot machine you have to work for and spend more money on.
And then once you hear the ding, ding, ding jackpot, you're like, oh my God, I feel so great.
Let me get another 1,000 points.
So with achievements, when you fulfill a task, all of these nice chemicals come into your brain. They're like, okay, this thing happened. You know what? We're going to give some endorphins, some dopamine. We're going to give you all these chemicals in your brain, and you're going to feel fantastic. You're going to feel relieved. You're going to feel like, holy shit, this is the best thing ever. I just completed a task. Probably the more stressful the task, the more effort it took to get it done, the more celebrated that task is, the better you're going to feel. The more of those chemicals are going to really hit you. So it's like, all right, now let's turn that into video games. Because just like the bell with the food, every single time you get an achievement, there just happens to be this little blip that shows up.
I just get a little high.
This little notification. Yep. And this little sound that comes with it. That's like, hey, so you just unlocked something.
Congrats.
It doesn't necessarily need to be rare that nobody else has gotten. That'll come up later. But you got the sound, you get the little notification that you see. Sometimes even in, like we were talking about with the rare one, you get an even louder sound and you get like a little diamond animation, which you're going to associate the diamond with like, oh my God, like it's a diamond. Like that's actually like something that's perceived as rare, valuable, you know, super cool to have. So in your dumb little brain, human brain, you associate these sounds with, okay, that good feeling. When I got that sound, I felt great because I just accomplished something that I've been working towards.
I always hear somebody telling me who's a good boy.
And then and then all of a sudden I get hungry.
like obnoxiously, right?
So you associate that sound with that feeling. And then every single time you get an achievement, you want more of it.
Which sound do you like better, the trophy unlocking or the achievement unlocking?
Oh boy, I think, obviously, because I get so many of them, I like the rare Xbox sound. Because obviously that's all I get.
It is a nice one.
It's loud as hell.
It is.
Like the Outer Worlds level up. That was very loud.
Yeah, that was.
But it's nice. It's a sound that I don't mind hearing because it's like, you know what, I did something. I don't care how loud it is. It'll go away in like a second. But it makes you feel good. It makes you feel satisfied. It makes you feel like you just accomplished something. Even though it is just a simulated computer image, makes you feel like, oh my God, I did it. I did something. And then it shows you that little percentage of how many people have done this. And you're like, oh my God, only a handful of people compared to the world's population, or even the Xbox or PlayStation players, or people who only have played that game. It's still only like a percentage. There's never ones that are 100%. I don't think I've ever seen one that says 100% of people have this.
Oh, I have.
Really?
Oh, yeah. If you go for like the super easy games, like the Radalaka games,
I guess.
Yeah.
Maybe. The ones that it's like start the game and you get an achievement.
Yeah.
Like,
well, there are a bunch of games like that like once you boot up, it'll at least say like, because I don't know how Xbox does it. So does Xbox track if they got an achievement, or does it just track like it's on their profile because they booted it up?
Because I think as soon as you boot up the game, it shows you achievements. So I think
Correct.
I wouldn't be surprised if it was everybody that has booted this up has the opportunity to get this.
And that's all they did is boot it up, most likely. Yeah. Because there's a lot of different achievements I've seen where the, percent of people that got it was like 98.
Yeah, 90.
And I'm like, 2% of people literally didn't even start the game, because a lot of them just give it to you for just starting it.
Yeah, which is, there are some that are get probably to 100 or pretty damn close to it, but it's most of them are like, especially as you get further into the game or get into the difficulty, the more rarer ones are because not a lot of people have them, and they are rare for a reason. So we think that's awesome. With the whole, I want to keep this coming and keep more achievements coming because it feels good when I get them. We as stupid humans want to be more reassured that we're doing things right or well. We want to know that we're on the right track and that we're doing things that we're supposed to be doing. But it's kind of weird, but I'll bring that up later. Achievements and trophies popping up means that we're doing something that the game developers and creators put in the game. They're like, you know what? This is a thing you can do. And you did it. We knew you were going to do it. We had thought about someone doing this, and you did it. And there's even a progress bar. So it's like, you know what? I'm 50% of the way towards doing it, especially Xbox. PlayStation has one as well, I think, right? For like progress of a trophy?
No,
they don't. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Well, Xbox
only does it on the one, and even that is like very dependent on the developers.
Sometimes, yeah, but there still is kind of like a progress. There's even games with this is the progress bar for this thing. If it's a collectible, it'll show you how many collectibles you have out of the total. It'll show you how many you have left. It'll show you what story chapter you're in. It'll show you how many unlocks you have. All this other stuff. There's just progress bars and progress indicators everywhere that show you are on the right track. You are doing the things that we put in this game for you to do and that we expected you to do. So us as stupid humans are like, okay, I'm doing the right thing. These achievements means I'm either progressing in the game as I should, or I found something that I was supposed to find.
Right.
And added with that sound of it feels good whenever I get one, it's just, oh my God.
I need to get as many as I can.
I need to get as many because that means I'm completing the game. I'm doing what the game developers wanted me to do and expected me to do in this game. And I'm super excited and I feel fantastic, which we have had that feeling. It's fucking great. And then once you get all of them, once you get achievements, once you collect them, the psychology. Wow, I'm an idiot. Psychology. It's tough. Psychology of collecting is, I want to get all of these because these are mine. I get to show them off. They become a part of who we are. Just like in the beginning of this episode, we kind of talked about how proud we are that we have them. We thought we were pretty fucking cool in a different echelon of people because of just an arbitrary number which means how many games you've played, what steps you've taken in these games.
Well, it's also like a little extra, like getting more money for your games.
Yeah.
You know, like when I was
More
younger.
worth.
Yeah, when I was younger, like I'd buy a game, play it. Some of them I would do like everything you could in the game. Others I would just finish it. There have been a couple of games that I've picked up that I would have just played and been done with it, but just because of achievements, I'm like, yeah, I could do that.
Yeah,
I can get that.
I could play it again. I
Like
could go
Lego
back.
games back in the day, never went for the 100%. I just played through them, had a great time.
Did the story, and then
now every
maybe
time I play a Lego game, I need every red brick. I need every character.
Gold brick, yeah, all of them.
Red bricks too.
Well, gold bricks are like hundreds.
Right. Yeah. But you know what I'm saying is like back in the day,
I need everything.
I'd have been like, I don't give a shit about this character, but now I'm like, I really fucking need this character. I don't know why, I just need it.
It's going back to that we need reassurance that we're on the right track. It's just especially when you see the progress bar in like a Lego game that says 99%, you're like, well, shit, what's the 1%? What's the one thing? Yeah. What's the one thing I got to do? Let me go do it so I can get the 100%. There are some people in this world that are going to be completely happy seeing a 55%, seeing a 43%, and be like, you know what? I got what I wanted out of this game. I had fun. I'm going to move on to the next one by just like completing the story mode or something like that.
And then there's our high school art teacher that's just got like 300K.
Yeah. And then there are people like us who are like, okay, 30%. All right. So what else do I need to get to at least 70 for tonight? Right. And then I'll try to get to 100 in the next time I play. Like it's just, we want to get that 100%. We want to do everything that this game developer was like, hey, here's what you can do in this game. We're going to give you some indicator that means you are following a path that we wanted you to follow. And we collecting these just kind of want to show them off, and especially the rarity. It's like, hey, look at all these rare things I have. Look at all these platinums I have that are just like literal trophies that you can show off to people, especially when they see that number next to your level
gamer card too. Yeah,
and you can look at them, and it's you are kind of having this. You're belonging to a group. You are like, these people have them. They can see that I am a part of this group. That if they're looking at me and they don't have that, they are not a part of. They don't know what that experience was like, collecting this, getting this, finally achieving this thing, or getting this trophy that's, you know what? I have this and not everybody else does. That's why anybody collects anything rare. That's why people had rare baseball cards or memorabilia or things like that, because like not everybody can have this.
Right.
I have this. Therefore, I am attributing a higher value to this, or I am giving myself more of a position in society or a position in this group based on having this when other people don't. So it's just feeling that is what gets us to want more of them, because we add to our collection, we add to this ability to show off what we have and what other people don't have. So it's this weird, we are so stupid that just them putting these achievements in the game are like making people play these games more and making them go through and replay these games, try to get every single thing they can done, just because it's some computer code changes a 0 to a 5 or a 5 to a 0 or adds a little logo and another number next to and raises a bar like a hair. Like it's just pretty crazy. And then once you get these achievements as well, and you look back, like sometimes I do that. I look back on my achievements or my trophies. I'm like, oh my God, I did that. I beat that game. I 100% everything got done in this game. I got a platinum trophy in that game. And you associate that moment and you remember that moment that you got it. And you're like, yeah, that was a really tough game. Like, I'm super happy that I got all of this is a humble brag. I have all of the platinum trophies in every single Crash Bandicoot game.
Yep.
The remastered versions, at least, and every Spyro game on the remasters. Mm-hmm. I'm very proud of that. And then when I look through them, I'm like, 100. I'm like, yeah, that feels really good. And I associate with how much of a grind that was, how difficult it was, and just how it felt how much dopamine, how much chemicals came into my brain when I got done with it. And I was like, oh my God, like you just feel like you are weightless and this giant really load is off of your shoulder. I felt so awesome. I was like, I don't have to do this anymore. That's also ties into avoiding pain. You want the pleasure of completing the game because it's such a pain in the ass to do. So I want to avoid this pain and get to the pleasure so badly that I'm going to find every single achievement, because then I don't want to feel like I missed out on this thing and I can't play it. And it's like, well, I can do it. It's there. I just need to do it and stick with it. And then I will get this satisfaction at the end. And it's kind of interesting. The final point to bite about psychology, if you're bored, I'm sorry, but this is board certified gaming. So
Ooh.
I mean, it's in the name. The last thing is these games, there is a linear path most of the time. There's like, this is without thinking about anything else. This is how you linearly progress through the game. This is how they think basically how you're going to go, how the average person goes through the game. But achievements kind of make it so you do things that you're not normally going to do, or you're not going to, I'm going this way because I need to go this way because there's a thing over there and I just want this thing. I don't need to have the thing. There's nothing requiring me to go get it, but I want it. So I'm going to go off the beaten path. I'm going to explore this thing. I'm going to go look into this game a little bit more and try to find out, okay, how can I get this thing? How can I go do that? Whereas most games are meant to be, aside from open world games and all that other shit, linear. You go point A to point B, and then you're done with the level or the game. It's rare that an achievement list or a trophy list, which Amar will know if there are, that it's just, hey, you complete the story, the thing you're supposed to do, you get every single achievement without even doing anything you're not supposed to or anything that's like extra.
You're saying there aren't games like
that?
There
are. Oh. But it's more likely that it's extra stuff that you needed to pay attention to and actually have the thought of doing instead of just it's automatically going to come when you do whatever you're supposed to do in the game. That's the point, is that the rarity is like not everybody's going to do this because it's either a hard game and there's just like something that you need to do extra, or not everybody's going to get this just because you need to have some kind of extra will to get it done. Like you need to have to get this. When most games are like, this is point A, point B, chapter 1, chapter 2, but there's an extra thing in chapter 2 you need to do to get a trophy. And if you miss it, you got to play the game again or play a chapter again. So it's just interesting to see that these games have linear stories, but they're asking you to do extra stuff that they put in just to put in. Because some games are even made with the achievements in mind.
Yes.
They're just like, yeah, we put this in here in this game just so people could have something to get an achievement. Yep. Like just so we could make a pun in the achievement or can make a joke about it or make some funny moment that I always love like the random quests in like Borderlands or something else that it's like, apparently that was an achievement just for doing that. Yep. It was like, oh, the weirdest thing ever.
Like I'm on a boat achievement in the first Borderlands.
A strange thing that they just put in this game. They're like, yeah, but we can tie an achievement to it and then people can get some kind of satisfaction. You didn't have to do that, but it's there. So psychologically, we are dumb humans and we like when we get reassured that we're doing something right and it turns into a sound that we associate with a good feeling of just getting all that shit done and getting something extra that we can show off and feel better about ourselves. So we're dumb humans and we love it. You're listening to two dumb humans who just happen to love achievements and trophies. But the interesting thing, I think, is for those who don't play on a PC in Steam, Xbox, or PlayStation, like most Nintendo games. Nintendo doesn't have achievements at all. There's none. Some do, but they don't have
Xbox achievements.
Yeah, but I mean Nintendo games.
Correct. Themselves, right.
They do not.
If anything, they have like in-game achievements, but not...
Which aren't anything.
That's like how it was back in the day. Nintendo doesn't have a system for just general. Yeah. You know, like Sony, Xbox, Steam, they have it for like, hey, here's just your entire profile. Where, yeah, Nintendo is more just kind of like...
Play the game.
Like you'll get achievements in like fucking Mario Kart. Where it's like okay, that doesn't translate to anything unless if somebody physically gets Mario Kart and then looks at my profile.
Yeah. So it's just interesting to play a Nintendo game and then have that same mindset of
I got to do it all.
What can I do? Yeah. What else is there? What else is all possible in this game? And Amar and I have played all kinds of Nintendo, Xbox, and PlayStation games. And I don't know about you, but I definitely experience a different feeling when purchasing or playing a Nintendo game versus purchasing or playing an Xbox or PlayStation game based on just achievements alone. Just because it's like, all right, this Nintendo game, I am literally going to beat this at a certain point. There's going to be a way in which I beat this game and then I have nothing else to do unless I really want to play it again.
Right.
There's something I missed, or there's another way to play it, or
like additional ending story.
Or it's like a Mario Kart or something where I'm going to play this more than one time just because it's so short of a game or a repetitive concept. Like Mario Kart, Animal Crossing, I'd play them just because there's really no end.
Right.
But if there's a game that I'm like, this is a linear story that I'm going to be done with once I see the end and once I see the credits, it's done. I beat it. There's nothing else to do. I can trade it in, sell it, go get a different one. Whereas if I get a PlayStation or Xbox game, I think you do this too. You look up the achievements, you look up the trophies. You're like, all right, once I beat the story, what else am I going to need to do? Or what am I going to need to pay attention to?
Or what can I do during the story kind of thing?
What am I going to need to pay attention to so I only have to play this once? Or so I have to minimize playthroughs, or I can get these done because it's going to be a cool thing that I heard about that I want to do that's not necessarily in the linear story game. So it's just an interesting dichotomy to see the Nintendo Switch games or Nintendo games period, and then PlayStation and Xbox and Steam games, just because you get the achievements that add a little bit in terms of either buying it before, playing during it, or even after. I'm more willing to sell or trade in a Nintendo Switch game, because I'm done with it. If I'm like, yeah, but it's at like 80%, I can play that. Like I'll replay it in the future and I'll come back and then I'll get that 100% and then I can get rid of the game. Like I have that discussion with myself a lot, because it's like, really, it's just a matter of me spending time and effort to do it. And I'm like, it's not worth the $5 or whatever I can get. And if you go to GameStop, you'll get 30 cents. Maybe. And in store credits, you have to spend that 30 cents there.
Store credit, they're a lot nicer about.
I know, I'm just saying. It's more worth it to you to keep the game and get that 100% and then try to maybe get that $2 for it a couple months later than it is to get that $5 now. Because it's like, it's 80%. I could easily just go back and do it as long as I just focus on doing that thing.
Right.
Which we're going to talk about later, how kind of your mindset changes when you are achievement hunting or trophy hunting. Because it's a different mindset to have. Something that Amar can turn on like that, like a switch.
He's going to give a shit.
You have an innate ability to just like
points.
Just throw everything away about what you're trying to do and like, you know what, I'm focusing on getting these achievements done. So personal experiences, our entire lives, gaming lives, most of mine has been Xbox 360 on. I played a lot of games back in the day, but I was a kid. So it was like any kind of game you put in front of me, I wasn't going to be too picky about. I didn't have the free will to buy them. I didn't, I had to be like, there was a lot less information about what new is coming out, what's new, what I could potentially get. Now it's a lot different. There's games everywhere. I have the ability to go out and buy them. I have more of an ability to hear about them. And I also have the ability to check out the achievements and the trophies beforehand and do a lot of research beforehand in buying them. When you were a kid, you probably saw a commercial or read in a magazine like Nintendo Power or something like that. And you're like, oh shit, this new game's coming out. Apparently I want it. So we've been fully invested in achievement points and trophies throughout our whole lives. Me, it was kind of like an accident because Amar got into it way before I did, and then kind of like not challenged me, but I felt like an inner challenge to probably get my numbers up a little bit, because there was a time where you were getting like platinum after platinum after platinum, and I was like, you know what, I could do this. Like I have a backlog of games that I could get some platinums in. So I decided to. And I was like, you know what, I'm going to ramp this up. So over the last couple of years, especially with the PS4 and Xbox One, I've been definitely ramping that up. Whereas the Xbox 360, I kind of was in the more of just to play a game. And I just eventually got there because I wanted to play these, because a lot of the games I play are big. They have a lot of collectibles and they have a lot of side things that I eventually got so close that I was like, oh, sure, I might as well just finish it. I wasn't making it a goal to do that. Whereas now I'm more making it a goal. And I think Amar is the same way. So kind of what was your background in achievements, and how is that? Is it any different from what you do today?
A little bit. I'm actually trying to see if I can check to see what was the very first achievement I got.
Yeah.
But I think it just ranks them based on like the best for whatever reason.
Yeah.
I mean, mine dates to like end of 2007. And
so like
it's
when you were getting
from Avatar to Fusion Frenzy to Forza, some game, as soon as I heard that first click, I was instantly like, oh, this is kind of cool. I think for a while too, like even before I had a 360, I was looking into that community because it was just kind of starting up.
Yeah. Which if by 2007 it had only been a thing for 2 years, and trophies hadn't even existed yet.
And I think at that time the top guy, Stallion 83, only had like maybe a couple 100,000. Because I mean, achievement hunting now is radically different than what it was during the 360 era. Just because during the 360 era, like they had those easy gamer score games, but you still kind of had to work for them. Where now it's like, yeah, like if you just want an extra 1,000 points and you don't give a shit how good the game
There's
is.
hundreds of games like that.
Tons. Like the entire like Ratalaka catalog is all $5 games that frequently go on sale and are generally under an hour or two of completion.
Yeah.
So anytime those are on sale, I'm like, yeah, fine, fuck it, I'll pick up a couple. I just picked one up yesterday, you know.
Which makes sense because there's a lot more money, there's a lot more studios, there's a lot more
correct.
Technology has advanced to where people can pump out games pretty quickly.
Well, and these are like little fucking 2D,
yeah, they're not
like
full-fledged RPGs that take hundreds of
hours.
Some
some of them are surprisingly okay games.
Fun, yeah.
But a lot of them are just fucking horrible. Like I paid $1 for My Name is Mayo.
Yeah. I did too, which is literally just pressing a button.
You have to literally just tap a jar of mayonnaise
10,000 times, I think it was.
Yeah, and
total
you got a platinum. And then I did it again on the Vita for a second one too.
Literally, that's kind of the point that I made in the whole psychology section is that we literally pressed a button 10,000 times in a row. And all it did was like change the costume of the jar of mayo.
No, it didn't. You had to change
You unlocked one and then you
had to watch the counter and then be like, okay, I got this one, and then I have to switch it.
So we pressed a button 10,000 times with nothing happening other than like a jar of mayo shaking.
Wish they put that game on Xbox.
And then we got an achievement every, it was like 10 minutes, and then 100 and then 1,000 and something like that. So that's literally the bell for the food. We were like, yep, keep pressing. I'm going to get an achievement in like probably 10 clicks or something. So that's how nuts it is. And so basically your life in achievements started a few years after achievements were even a thing. I think I remember back in the day, you were like, yeah, Avatar, I can get 1,000 gamer score because all you do is like get this one long combo. I remember talking about that like early on in like 2008 or something like that. And you're like, yeah, I got that. I got Kung Fu Panda or whatever the games were. And I remember we were trying to do Doritos Crash Course. I remember that one was like a free game. That was like $250. And we're like, yeah, we can complete that.
Still on the store.
Aegis Wing, which you never got. I didn't get the last one because we kept trying to do
that. I have two left. I have to get 185,000 points and beat it on Insane.
That was just a banger. We just played that game because
it's backwards fucking compatible. Dope. We might as well.
But we were just like, yeah, let's try and get all these achievements in this. It's free. So it's like we were in it, but you were in it way sooner than I was. And especially now it's just ramped up to be this giant, like,
now that I have money.
Yeah. Now that you have,
and I'm like, oh, fuck, I don't have kids.
Yeah. Like you don't have to spend money on child support or anything like that. So.
Jesus. I hope not.
Yeah. So it's just an interesting, our backstories are kind of have something to do with it and then we are definitely entranced in it now. It builds on you over time. You get this mindset instead of playing the games and like just playing them for fun. You get to play them for, okay, yeah, I really want to get this achievement, get this 100%, make it feel like I completed everything. I got the most out of it because other people who just buy the game and play the story, they didn't get 100% of the game.
Right.
I did everything that they meant for you to do or gave you the option to do in this game. So there are some games where like side quests and stuff that don't have anything to do with achievements, you could miss some. And then it's like, yeah, you maybe didn't get the full breadth of the game. But in terms of most games with achievement wise, it's like, hey, there's the story and then there's this extra shit that you can do. And we did it. So we feel like almost we got the most out of the game possible. Whereas other people, maybe not so much. Maybe they spent a little too much money on a game that they only played through once and then it sits in their shelf. Like or
they buy like the new Call of Duty every year, and that's all they do. And they play multiplayer. Yeah, nothing else.
We maxed it out. So, which one do you prefer
between
Xbox achievements and PlayStation trophies? If you had to pick one, which one do you like best or get the most satisfaction out of?
See, that's tough because, like, for a while, I did prefer trophies.
Yeah.
So it kind of bounced from like at first I preferred gamer score, then I preferred trophies, and then I'm back to gamer score.
Well, that I think coincided with what system you were playing.
And not just the system that I'm playing, but just like my overall viewpoint on it.
Okay.
For a while, like I was really into platinums because I loved the idea of getting a little something extra for completing everything.
Mm-hmm.
But then that became really monotonous after a while to the point where
it lost its.
There were a lot of times I was playing a game where I was like, I want the platinum, but I don't want to fucking do every little thing.
Yeah.
Whereas with Xbox, it was like, I don't have to do every little thing and I still get that satisfaction.
Okay.
Like I know for a lot of, I mean, and that's like the beauty of, at least to me, like I'm very into the gamer score community and even the trophy hunting community. And I think to me what the beauty is like, there's not one way to tackle it. There's not one, like, this is how we rank it. I mean, when you go on sites like PSN profiles, True Achievements, True Trophies, all of those, you've got people that are like myself, where I'm like, I don't care. I will play any game. I don't care what the game is. I don't care who made it. I need the highest score possible. You also have a lot of people that, so for like True Achievements and True Trophies, you know, this is, those sites were developed because of the fact that you had this discrepancy between a game would award you 5 points.
Yeah.
And it would be for like beating the game with the hardest difficulty. These sites were like, well, is 5 really fair?
Yeah.
So they kind of came up with this algorithm where there's a ratio. So, you know,
and the inverse of that is some really tough ones were really tough and were not worth like 25
correct,
or whatever.
Because it was the same. Like if you got every achievement in Halo 3, those 1,000 points were the exact same as Avatar: The Last Airbender, which was 3 minutes of pressing the B button and boom.
Which PlayStation, I guess there's like this was a gold. So it's like, clearly this is not a bronze.
But those also same thing where, you know, there was a bunch.
A gold is like, but this is like what's between gold and platinum.
Right.
Like, this
like,
is the hardest thing
there
ever.
There were a ton of bronze trophies that I was like, why the fuck is this a bronze?
Yeah, this was the toughest thing. And it's like, that was only a bronze? Like,
right. But like I said, for me, like, I think the thing that I like about those communities is that everyone is super like, you know, hey, I'll boost with you. Hey, I'll like suggest these games.
It's for the good of the game. It's for we're trying
for
to
the
help
community
each other.
itself too. Like big dudes that I've followed that I like is like for Xbox, you've got Bills. So if you search in Bills Illuminati, Chivo guides, you know, power picks for the PlayStation side, like they all make guides. That's what they do for fun. They're all great guides. But it's not just like, you know, so you'll get someone like me that's like, hey, I'm very into, I need the highest score possible. You'll have people where, you know, when you go on True Trophies or True Achievements, you have that ratio, you know. So if a game is worth 1,000, but the True Achievement score is 1,500, that's a 1.5 ratio.
Yeah.
You have people that don't give a shit about their score. They just care about playing the hardest games and getting the hardest achievements. You also have people that only care about getting the highest completion percentage. So, you know, you can rank them all. So it's not, you know, just one community where it's like, that's all that matters is your gamer score.
One, it's just how big how many.
It's just you like this, so play it how you want.
What are your numbers?
Right, like I am more than okay with just playing a shitty $5 game for an easy 1,000 points. But then there's someone that's like, I don't want to play even fucking BioShock because the ratio is too low for me.
Yeah.
You know, there's a ton of people on there that like they only play games that are like the absolute rarest of trophies or achievements to get.
Because they get a little bit more out of it.
Correct.
That's what they assign their value to. That's what they assign their experience is worth to.
Yeah, because I mean at the end of the day, this doesn't fucking matter.
It doesn't. If like I said, it's computer code that changes a 0 to a 5.
If I, God forbid, died tomorrow, no one's going to be talking about my gamer score.
I will be.
You will be.
I will.
But like my family won't.
It's going to be on
my
your
coworkers,
obituary, man.
No one's going to be talking about it, you know? So it's like a personal thing where, you know, I'm like, fuck it, I'll pick up cars. I don't give a shit.
And that's kind of where you and I differ.
Right. Because you are more into, I want to play the longer games. I want to have like a higher ratio. That's fine.
Not that I'm trying to be holier than thou, like I'm perfect or anything, but I would like to think that I prefer the whole... Yeah, I prefer platinums. Like I prefer trophies over achievements just because of that platinum trophy being the you got this thing. Sites like True Achievements, True Trophies do assign a different value to that, but that's someone else's algorithm, not my own. If I choose not to adopt that algorithm, I can still assign whatever value I want to whatever trophies I want. So it's like, you know what? But PlayStation's like, these already have a little bit different of an algorithm assigned to them already, whereas it's numbers, but they still end up being 1,000. That platinum is like, you did all of those things,
right?
If Xbox did the whole 1,000 but you get something else, it'd be a little bit more like effective for me, because it's like, there's a thing for getting all the things.
Right.
Because you can get all the things, but then it's like, all right, well, then that's just it. I'm done. But this is like, no, you got all the things. Here's this extra little indicator. So that's why it's like nice having that platinum number next to my name.
Right.
So it's like, you know what? Look at that.
That's my total.
That's me completing 100% of the games.
Correct.
If you look at your gamer score, yeah, it looks like you've beat 100% on 125 games.
Correct.
You could have played 6,000 games and got 10 gamer score.
Right. I've only
math
played like
would not add up.
250 something and only completed half.
6,000 games, 20 points in each game. And then that could be your gamer score. It's just nice seeing that extra bit of satisfaction. And most platinums, I'd like to think, are pretty hard. It's like difficult because they're,
again, it depends on the game.
It depends on the game. But I'm like to say most of the platinums I get, I think that's where I differ from you, is that these are games that I like to play, that I'm just going to get the platinum in it just because it's like, this is a game that I don't mind playing and also getting the platinum in. I don't search for games that are super easy platinum wise. If it's a game I want to play, if it's a game I want to play, I don't give a shit. If I can get the platinum easily. I also don't give a shit if I don't get it.
Correct.
There are plenty of games that I've played and beat and played a ton, but I didn't get it.
That's how it was with Far Cry 5. Yeah. I was like, all that was left was the multiplayer, and I was like, I don't want to boost this. I was like, I don't give a shit.
The first time I played Skyrim, I was like, you know what? I'm just going to play this. It was fun. I played a shitload of it, but there were a lot of things that I missed. And then when I played it again for the PlayStation, because it's on like 17 systems, I played it again. And I'm like, you know what? Since I've played this before, I'm going to pay attention. I'm going to get these trophies because I looked at, you know what? This is pretty easy to get, and it's a game I enjoy. So Amar is going to probably lead this and have more expertise than I do.
Well, before we move on, is like I said, that's the beauty of it, is like there's not one targeted, like you need to do it this way. I mean, even just looking at true achievements right now, you can join a leaderboard for how many achievements you won, how many challenges you've completed, how many games you've played, what your ratio is, you know, what your completion percentage is. You can go based off of, am I the top person? Like up, you can do even more than that, is like, am I getting the highest streak? Am I earning one every day for X amount of times? Am I the top for just role-playing games? Like there's a ton of people where like you could literally just list your leaderboard for, I try to earn every single achievement in every single Fallout game.
I got an achievement every day for the last year.
Correct.
It's like you can,
or you could be like the top guy who's done it for the last like 10.
I agree with that you can get what you want out of it and assign your own value to it. Like I feel the best when I complete games, and I only have 97% of my games completed. It may not be a lot of them. I've only played like 10 games, but I have completed all of them, or pretty damn near close. I'm working on the 10th. Whereas somebody can be like, I have played 6,000 games and have achievements in 6,000 games. So like reiterating what you said, that is a very good point, that you can get anything you want out of it, because like you said, there's not one way to, it's not one thing. You get a gamer score and that's your worth, or that's your, you know, indicator of how good you are, how much you've played, what you've done. It's just, you can take it any single way, and you can do research into it to be like, oh, actually, look at this. This guy got 1,000 gamer score, but this is really tough. Like this game, like barely anybody has, and this guy completed it. How did you do it? I want to look, and actually, that's why like Twitch streaming for achievement hunters is a thing, and trophy hunters is a thing, because people want to see, holy shit, this guy's doing this.
Yeah, some of them have.
And I'm like, how the hell did you do this? I've been playing this game. I haven't gotten a damn thing close to that.
Down to a T.
Yeah. So speaking of that, Amar is going to head this. There are tips and tricks that we have to finish up if you want to get your numbers up. I am kind of an amateur in this still, because I just like to have fun with the games, but that's something you might have to sacrifice if you want to just focus on getting your numbers up. You might have to play games that you don't necessarily want to play or haven't just immediately get an interest in.
It depends on what you want to do.
Yeah.
You know, so like
how quickly you want to get your numbers up to.
Yeah. If you do want to get it like as high as possible, then you got to make a couple choices. Do you want to get it high as possible and you don't give a shit what you're playing, or do you genuinely care about what you're playing?
Yeah.
You know, if you're of my mindset where you're like, points are points.
As long as I'm getting them.
Use all the tools to your resource. TrueAchievements.com, Xbox360achievements.com. Same on the PlayStation side of things.
When do the achievements or trophies get announced before a game comes out?
So
usually a little bit before.
That really depends. Some developers will release the list early. A lot of those websites like True Achievements and True Trophies, if somebody has that game on their, or if somebody has an account on that website and say they get like an early copy, their scanners will pick that list up.
Okay.
So like
and then they'll create an article like, hey, this is out. We know what the achievements are.
Like True Achievements just now posted the Telling Lies achievement list.
Okay.
It's a game that's coming out in 8 days. And they're like, hey, we just picked this up because somebody on the scanners had it right. They haven't completed it,
probably either a review copy or something like that.
Yeah. Or developers will release it early. I know some of them
we are open for that if you guys want to.
Some of them have done that where they've just straight up been like, yo, here's our list for achievements and trophies, because they also understand, they take the time for a lot of those, because someone's getting paid to come up with this list.
Yeah.
So they take the time to curate it, depending on the audience. Like Halo, Gears, all those have like very specifically named ones for, the games in the series to like pay homage.
And some of them are kind of spoilers to like tell what's going to happen in the game.
Yeah, Borderlands does like super funny ones. You know, like back when Borderlands first came out, "I'm on a Boat" was a popular song. Yeah. They literally were just like, fuck it, go on a boat, and
kind of mini time capsules of what's happening in the
correct. But yeah, check out those guides too. The cool thing with those sites is, especially if you're looking for like quick, easy completions, you can filter them based on the ratio difference. So whether you're doing
how
trophies,
hard this is, how many people have gotten it,
correct. The more people that have unlocked it, obviously the easier it is. And sales
perceived, it might not be easy. Like it might be just a game that a lot of people
from that site.
Yeah.
So you can safely assume if 10,000 people played this game and all 10,000 of them got every achievement, you're going to be 10,001. Unless if you are just absolutely horrible at doing
you just
literally
anything.
Correct. Well, I mean, with those sites, it doesn't add it to your list if you haven't unlocked an achievement.
Okay.
So there's Apex Legends, I haven't earned a single achievement nowhere on my True Achievements profile.
Which is good.
Correct. So that's only for people that have unlocked it. That's where they get their ratio from. Otherwise, the ratio would be like super skewed.
There'd be a ton of games that I've like just tried for like 5 minutes and like
sales. Nope. Yeah, sales are a big one too.
Pay attention to
True Achievements. I don't know. I haven't really browsed too much on True Trophies, but I know
because he's been focusing on achievement hunting for right now.
I would assume they do the same thing because they're the same like True Gaming Network where every time there's a sale, they'll post, okay, there's a sale on PlayStation 3, there's a sale on PlayStation 4, Xbox 360, Xbox One, and then the editors on the site will kind of curate a little list of being like, hey, based on our algorithm, right, this is, a super easy game. Like I think the most recent one, they were like, here's 25 games that are all like under an hour.
Yeah, they're cheap, they're quick.
They'll link you right to the Xbox or PlayStation site so you can just buy it.
Yeah.
So yeah, look out for sales.
Just the basic thing is you want to find games that are to make this less of a grind, because you're going to have to sacrifice the fun for the grind sometimes. If it's a game you really like and it's really easy, really fun, really fast, really, cheap, who cares? Like that's great.
Right.
Not who cares. That's great. Because then it makes it a little bit more, because there are games that you play that you're like, yeah, I want to get the 100% in, but I really want to play this game. So I'm going to play it and enjoy it, but then eventually I'm going to get the 100%. But there are some games where like, I do not give a single fuck about this game. I'm going to play it. It's literally told me that it's going to be an hour long. I'm going to get 1,000 gamer score, and then I'm literally going to ditch it. I don't need it anymore.
I literally just picked up a copy of NBA 2K6, got an easy 1,000 gamer score, and I am now working on the platinum for Persona 5 Royal.
Yeah, so like it's
two radically different games in terms of time and effort.
Playability. Yeah, so that's the thing.
No, NBA 2K6 was actually really fun.
Okay.
I was like, damn, look at the
It's
sweat.
a basketball game.
Yeah, it was cool. I
don't think the Bucks are that good.
I had Allen Iverson on my team.
Oh, well, yeah.
No, I just played as the East All-Stars. So I had like LeBron, Allen Iverson.
Kobe. No, Kobe's in the West. My bad.
Yeah.
I'm an idiot. I know basketball.
Shaq, he was in the East at the time.
He's the Heat?
I believe so. Either the Heat or the Magic in 05. Okay. But yeah, Shaq was on there because he was just sinking threes from deep.
Which he doesn't do.
Nope.
He can hit a three, but he can't hit a free throw. That makes
correct.
Sense.
So if you really want to get like super serious, multiple consoles help. getting, Xbox One, Xbox 360, if you can afford it, multiples of those.
Multiple copies, because there are some games where you can get
is a big one.
Achievements again.
Yeah, stacking is a big one, not just for games like My Name is Mayo on the PlayStation, let you get it on both there's a lot of games where you can get it both on the Xbox One and 360, PS4, PS3, and Vita. But there's also stacking in terms of, I think, like Fallout, you can earn the platinum like 4 times if you get like a US copy, a European copy,
Which
so
those are like super pro tricks, is getting other different
if you want to get like super
different
fucking
accounts,
about
different consoles and stuff like that.
Because I did that for a while with trophy hunting, where there's a couple games on there that are like only released in like Europe.
Yeah.
But the whole like going on G2A, buying it, that just to me became a hassle.
Yeah.
But yeah,
it's not worth the hassle.
Stacks are absolutely, like Persona 5 Royal, and a lot of those too, you don't even have to play the game 5 times. A lot of them will just pick up your save file and then just unlock. So it's a one and done. You just have to buy it multiple times.
Yeah. So that's kind of a pro trick. The main point is that pay attention to do some research beforehand before you buy the games. Don't just buy it because you know it's going to be 1,000 gamer score, or buy it because you know there's a platinum or that you could play it. Do some research to see if it's cheap, if it's quick, if it's fun, if it's got a platinum trophy in it, if you're into that, or if it's got 1,000 gamer score. There are some games that look like they are going to be full games, but they only have like a couple hundred gamer score, which I guess if you're looking for gamer score, it doesn't really matter because you still add to your numbers. But just mainly check and see. The main thing is doing the research. So going on websites like True Achievements or True Trophies, TRUE Trophies, TRUE Achievements.com, and just making sure, because there are guides, there are forums, there are all these different things that are like, hey, this is how to beat this game 100%. Here's other people that have done it. Here's what they said to do. Here's some guides. Here's some videos on how to do it. Here's a map. Here's whatever, just so you can get it done. And then kind of just like you do sometimes, you need to detach. You need to be like, this is what I am doing. I am not here to try to get the most fun out of this game. I am here to
Your fun is in unlocking.
Your fun is beating the game and getting all of the achievements in it. So you kind of need to change your mindset in terms of playing the game. Like, I am playing a game to finish it, not playing a game to get the most out of it or play the most out of it. There are some games where you're going to do that. That's what I do. That's a slower way to do it. You eventually get the numbers if you play a lot of games, and you play a lot, and you eventually finish all the stuff in the games and get your scores up. But that's the slower way to do it. Amar can go through, get 3,000 gamer score in a day if he has 3 games that last an hour. Yeah. And he just gets them done. So there are, just like with achievements and trophies and stuff, there's more than one way to do it. There's more than one way to get the most out of it. So tailor your experience to what you want, to what you're okay with. If it turns out that it really sucks doing these games that you really don't want to do, maybe put in a game that you enjoy. Take a little bit extra time, like Amar's doing with Persona 5 Royal. He wanted to play it. It's a long game. He's going to eventually 100% it. He's just
so close to fucking getting to that.
He's just really sick of playing like 4 games in a row that suck or that are not great or that are super easy and like not as fun, just to get the 1,000. And like, all right, cool. I've done 4 of those. I spent $20. I'm going to play this game at $60 that I really want to play and have really wanted to have my eye on for the last like couple months. So just kind of take it as it goes, figure out what the best experience for you is. If it really sucks and you don't like achievement hunting or trophy hunting, you don't have to. That's the point, is that it's for people who want to do that and who get more out of it than the people who just like, okay, there's a little blip, there's an achievement, I don't give a shit, I'm paying attention to the game. I'd like to know what happens in the story, not, accrue these meaningless, most of the time meaningless little, baubles that mean nothing. So we hope you guys enjoyed this episode about achievements and trophies. We will see you guys next week with whatever we're going to talk about. Stay safe, stay healthy, get your numbers up. They're rookie numbers. We see you, okay? You got to get to our level. We want to see what you guys have to do. If you are better than me, I'm not shocked. If you're better than Amar, I'm shocked. I'm going to be shocked. I am a little shocked. I haven't seen many people with like 150,000 achievement points. They are there,
Tons.
but I don't run into people like that.
Yeah, true.
So if you're, I guess if comment on the video that we have on YouTube or mention it on our Twitter how many achievement points you have or trophies you have. That'd be cool. Do that. And if you got this far, that's awesome. Thank you. See you guys next week.
Peace. Peace. Peace.